I know you're public speaking shy, but are you camera shy too?
I don't know.
It's like that's why I got in this tattoo business. I was never going to be on video doing it.
Never done this before, so we'll see how it goes.
I've been a lot of people's first times in podcasting, not in any other first time though. Like once I started,
Actually, me neither.
yeah. Once I started that everyone was pretty much run through by that point. Everyone had either had some trauma or they had some kids or a bit of both.
That many kids.
Yeah. But while he's getting me set up here, thank you all for tuning in to the Destin Nation Podcast. I'm Destin, as you all know. The man aggressively touching me to my left, though, is Brian Pagas, tattoo artist at Monkey Head Tattoo, owner and proprietor of the Meraki Gallery right next door, where I did a show February. We're doing one March 23rd. So actually pretty much right after this episode drops. And shaving time. I meant to do it.
My favorite part, shaving dudes.
Yeah. I meant to give you a head start, but again was already running a little late. And I need to. I say if you want to shave everything else, though, I do have a date tonight, so I can lift the balls. You can get on there real deep if you want.
Shave my name in your chest.
Yeah. But actually,
it'll match the name on your arm, though.
Yeah. Fun fact: do you remember the young couple that was seated on the wall, like kind of towards the back? The Danger called the guy out for not laughing the whole show. It's with her.
Which is awesome.
Yeah. Oh, I had to DM him. I'm like, thanks for the rebound, my man. And I sent him like an alley-oop gif. But
yeah, Danger was fucking awesome.
Oh yeah.
I love a cuss one.
Yeah. It's the internet, man.
Oh right.
Yeah.
Fucking cuss.
Yeah. I'll say. I mean, there's already so many legal issues with this one. I don't think there's going to be any real. Well, as far as like YouTube's standards, like they're like, don't curse in the first 5 minutes or don't have bloodshed. Well, there's going to be bloodshed in this. So.
Well, this is true.
Yeah, even though you did say in our last session, seepage. Here we go. Even though you did say in our last session that I have the thickest skin
I've ever tattooed.
And ladies, that's not the only thing that's thick. My everything else is thick. Everything except for that, actually. That's the only skinny part of my body. But anyway.
I think my one joke hit pretty good the other night.
Yeah.
That one joke I told.
Yeah. I'll say it because they always say the best jokes are based in truth, and everyone there takes one look at me, and they're like, Destin probably has a micro penis.
Yep, that's definitely a micro.
Yeah. He's got that energy about him. He's wearing a fur coat and a crown indoors at a comedy show. It's like, yeah, he's overcompensating for something. But
it was an awesome show.
It was. And yeah, during our last session, when you hit me with the idea, I was even like, yeah, that's dope. And it was like a good intimate setting. Like you could see everyone because, we didn't really have like the lights turned down and everything, which again didn't work for that one guy because Danger was like, yeah, I've seen you the whole show. You're not laughing. And she explained to me that he was going through a lot. Like she gave me like some of the details. I was like, oh, that sucks. Well, too bad he sucked too. So too bad. But no, it was a great time. The other two comics, Stephanie and Terrence, they both loved it. Yeah. I remember my dad when he was on his way to a bathroom halfway through like Stephanie's set. He's even like, why have you not had her out here before? And I was just like, yeah, she was. I had a really long list of Columbus comics I want to work with, and I try to give everyone at least one shot out here. And I was like, yeah, she came into the game kind of later, after I'd already been producing for like 2 years. So yeah, it was finally her time, and she made most of it. It was great.
Yeah, she did amazing.
Yeah.
So who we got lined up for this Saturday?
So, well, due to our the date change, we did lose 2 of the 3, but I'm waiting to hear back from. And unfortunately, the one we kept is one that I know could do an hour if he wanted. So I was like, okay, cool. Well, then I'm just gonna have you do a half hour. In the event I can't find someone else, I'll let you do a half hour and then the other one. But we'll piece it together though. My mom will be probably the most heartbroken by it, but because we won't have Ro the realist anymore, and that's honestly like her favorite comic. Yeah,
Was that
more than me.
headliner?
Yeah, what's up?
Was that the headliner
Yeah.
we was talking about?
Yeah, he's one of the four Ohio Kings of Comedy, along with Danger.
Oh, no kidding.
Um,
What exactly is the Kings of Comedy, Ohio Kings of Comedy?
it's just Ohio's off-brand version of the Kings of Comedy. Like almost every state has one.
So was there like a contest?
At one point in time, yeah, and it was equal parts like all people that were winning like contests and stuff, and then it was just four people that were the top of the game at the time, like I don't know, 6-7 years ago, and the Funny Bone even like booked him as it, and then it's stuck ever since. But yeah, they're all regular Funny Bone people. So like I'm not gonna lie, like sometimes like some of these shows I feel are a little below their pay grade, so I'm always happy that they are willing to do it. And they have credentials. I've had a couple of Columbus comics that are like, yeah, it's like I'm not leaving 270. I don't think it's worth my time. But
Well, I felt pretty good after when I talked to Danger, especially.
yeah,
I asked him how I felt about being up there, and he said it was great. He loved it. Couldn't wait to come back.
yeah,
So I felt pretty good about that.
yeah. Also, now that we're officially underway, I should mention this might be a first in the history of podcast that a tattoo is being done during a podcast. I mean,
Definitely a first for me.
oh, for you, yeah. No, I don't know anyone doing this. Maybe because people are like, why would you do it? But
I'm not. We're gonna sit here for 3 or 4 hours.
exactly,
We talk anyway. We might as well record it, right?
exactly, yeah. And also, it distracts me too because I'm the one getting like, what is it, like 20 needles all in that one, like it's like 20 like micro needles or something like that. Yeah, I'm the one getting 7. Okay, I'm the one getting 7 micro needles shoved inside of me at like 200 miles an hour. So yeah, I mean that's why I have this huge table of snacks and drinks too. Is one, to keep the salt and sugar up, in the blood, but also two, to take my mind off of what's happening. So
Yeah, because usually he sits here and cries.
yeah, like immediately.
Then I gotta hold him, and it gets all kinds of weird.
Yeah, it's all an elaborate ploy to get him to hold me though.
Which I gladly do.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Every time I keep asking him to sing me some songs too. On a really good day, he'll hum, but he'll never full blown sing. Just a shame because Brian has a lovely voice. Actually, speaking of, we'll go ahead and start with that. So, you do sing as well as tattooing, as well as painting and all that.
Yeah.
So, like, when did you start singing?
When did I start singing?
Yeah.
Well, so I've always sang and annoyed the piss out of everybody when I was a kid and all that. But then never really sang in public until I was working at the restaurant. Had a friend of mine that kept begging me to sing at her wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'd walk around work and sing and shit, but I'd never just outright be singing in a microphone to anybody. So she kept begging me to sing at her wedding. I'm like, I don't do that. Like, I don't sing in front of people. So she kept bugging. Finally, I'm like, fine, I'll do it. I've never done this. If it sucks, it's your fault. Like, I don't want to screw up your wedding, but I've tried to warn you.
Yeah.
So to get over my fear of singing in front of people, I started karaoke.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how it all started. And that's been, probably around 20 years ago I started karaoke. Did the wedding, it did great. I only had 2 songs I had to sing, and I was still terrified.
Do you remember what 2 songs?
It was a Tim McGraw and a Sammy Kershaw song.
Nice.
It went well. So I fell in love with karaoke, of course, and fell in love with just singing in general.
Oh, I bet your slowed down rendition of Indian Outlaw was beautiful.
Absolutely. That was the first CD I ever bought. Was that CD.
Yeah.
Well, it's Tim McGraw and Alanis Morissette at the same time.
Oh, what a combo!
Jagged Little Pill.
Yeah, both classics. I say I know you're a big Tim McGraw fan. Let's see, you named your son Gavin. Yeah.
Which is close to Gavin Gooddraw, but I didn't
Right.
even know that guy's name.
Well, yeah. Well, when was he born?
Gavin was born 2007.
Oh, okay. Oh no, Gavin Graw was out then by then. Okay.
But I was all country back then.
Right.
Very little did I do on the internet, so I never even heard his name.
Yeah.
And then we named him, and somebody's like, "Oh, it sounds like Gavin DeGraw." I'm like, "Who the hell is that?"
No. But I didn't realize so 20 years, man. That's
20 years, and because of karaoke, I've gotten to sing with some live bands.
Yeah.
Several local artists have asked me to sing with them, on stage. But I'm still kind of terrified to get in front of people.
Mm-hmm.
Unless it's karaoke, and I have some drinks.
Yeah.
That's my crowd, karaoke crowd. So.
Right. It's there's no pressure. It's one of those, if you do bad, it's like, well, okay, people expect karaoke to be bad anyway. Then, it's always a nice surprise when you actually do have people that can really sing go up there.
Yes, which is a fun part about where we karaoke. There's some really good singers all the time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was like, in the last couple of years, when I go to karaoke, the host absolutely despises people doing the song "Picture" by Cheryl Crow and Tim McGraw, or not Tim McGraw, Kid Rock, because it is horrendously overdone at karaoke. And it was so weird because I was like, in the year or so that I hosted, I only ever heard that song maybe 3 times, and all 3 of them were from Brian Pagas.
It's not my fault, I swear.
Yeah.
When a hot girl asks you to sing with them, you gotta sing. That's always their go-to.
Yeah, exactly. So it's that or "Broken" by Seether and Amy Lee is another. Now that one, same exact law. If a cute girl asks me to sing it, I sing it.
I've never sang that one.
Oh yeah, it was weird. So like he starts the song, and I can't sing it for copyright reasons, but he does the first verse and the first chorus, and then it's in like a lower register. And then Amy Lee comes in with the second verse, and then she continues the melody in the chorus, but then he joins and he starts singing in a higher octave to do harmonies. And I was doing the song one time, and it gets to the part where, the male part, flips up. So I do, and we get like a couple notes in, and she stops singing. She looks at me, she's like, "What are you doing? It's sing lower." I'm like, no, he jumps up on a register and starts singing like thirds and fifths and all that underneath her, and she's like, no, she sings it low. I'm like, okay, you turn that bitch, but like, so I mean, because to quote Nelson Mandela, "Pussy's pussy," so like, I did it, but oh yeah, dude. Hey, he spent how many years in jail? You better believe one of his first things out there is like, "Give me pussy," Actually, I thought it was hilarious. As soon as he got out of jail, he divorced his wife. Yeah, he was out. It was like maybe a year later or whatever. He filed for divorce from his wife, which really goes to say something for a guy that was in prison for many years.
One just wasn't enough.
Yeah. That last prison he was in, couldn't take it anymore. He's like, take me back to the other one where I was getting more sex, better food. But no, I was, and my mom, would always have you sing her some Marshall Tucker Band too. Yeah. I said it was one. I forget where we were one time. It might have been like Texas Roadhouse or somewhere like that, and it came over the speakers. And my mom was even like, "Doesn't sing it as good as Brian does." I was like, "Oh, I'll be sure to tell Brian that."
It is one of my best songs.
Yeah. I'm a fan of your Sam Cooke. That's yeah,
Change is going to come.
yeah. With a little bit of a break here, let's start breaking into our first non-sponsored snack, Lifesavers gummies.
Only the healthy stuff.
Exactly, yeah. Again, they're not paying me to say this, even though they should. The Neon's flavor, by the way, by far one of the best fruit snacks in the game right now. Which is hilarious because then there's like the Lifesavers, the wild berry mix or whatever, and every single one of those tastes like a candle. I hate them. But then these are awesome. Well, especially the orange pop flavor. Hell yeah.
I'm more of a chocolate guy.
That's why you like Bishop. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's actually, I've become more of a chocolate guy in the last couple years. But, no, like I said earlier, my thought is just, salt and sugars throughout all of this. So, I would have got chocolate, but then I see the Kit Kat has a new churro flavor, and that sounds real interesting. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. When we go for a smoke break, we'll trade. I'll eat one of your cigarettes, and you can eat one of the churro. But so you said you also work in the restaurant industry too, and then what made you want to leave that and go into tattooing?
Nothing. Actually, I only left that because the restaurant closed. If that restaurant was still open, I would probably still be there serving tables and managing all that crap.
Oh.
But yeah, I've never dreamed of being a tattoo artist, to be honest. I'm always drawn to painting and art school. Never once did I ever think of tattooing until the restaurant went to close, and I'm like, I'm not starting to run another restaurant, so I made it all the way to general manager.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to do something with my art. A couple of mutual friends of me and the guy that runs this shop, Ron Stolfire, had mentioned that I should go tattoo. I'm like, well, I'll give it a shot. I kind of talked to Ron, and he was all excited to have me in here. Started the next week after I talked to him.
It had to be nerve-wracking, though, going into such a high-pressure form of art, though, out the gate, basically.
Very.
Like, it's weird that you went tattooing and then you went into, like, painting. Okay.
I've always painted and drawn. That's been my passion.
Yeah.
But tattooing was just such a different medium. I grew up in the Church of God as well. My dream was always to be a preacher. So my life took a way different turn.
Yeah.
So I did the restaurant thing for a long time. I just needed a job, to be completely honest. And I didn't want to start a restaurant. So
Right.
here I am 14 years later.
Again, crazy how life happens.
And, because of this, I've been able to open my art gallery next door, which we just opened in December. So it's just a dream I've had for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, it's. I mean, looking back when I was younger, apart from like when you're like 5 and 6, and you're like, I want to be a cop, I want to be an astronaut, firefighter, all those big ones. Pretty early on, I was like, I want to be an actor, and then there was a very brief period of time where I got real pragmatic, and I was like, I'm going to go to law school. I wanted to be a lawyer. And then I watched Eddie Murphy's Raw when I was 13, and then I'm like, screw lawyer, I want to be a comedian. And that's
the same thing.
Yeah, and that one stuck. Man, there's actually a lot of comedians that have law backgrounds, like Greg Giraldo was a lawyer before he went in there. Dimitri Martin. Dimitri, it makes a lot more sense because like he has like this very the way he carries himself is very professional still, and I don't know, his jokes are just really highbrow and witty. Giraldo was way more the that kind of loose cannon kind of lawyer, I'm sure. Where if like things started going wrong, he would just start insulting them or their mother, or they're saying their wife's fat or something like that. Yeah. But yeah, and I mean, I still wanted to be both comedian and actor. Like, I do want to get in, like, I want to land like some, like, minor, like, reoccurring comedy role in like a show or something like that, or a movie. Yeah. Get the goofy, chubby, amicable comedic relief in like a Marvel or a Fast and the Furious movie, something that's going to keep cranking out movies for the next decade. That's security there, but
yeah, that was a weird one. Nobody wants to be a preacher. Right?
No. You'd be surprised. Actually, when I was in college, we were on a men's chorus tour, and there was this really, really, really big guy. I can't remember his last name. First name was Brad, so I don't feel bad about saying that. Brad something or another. He was way too, like, clean and good for the rest of us, and not like in like a goody two shoes snobby kind of way. He was just pure, he was just a big, huge snowball, and we're on the bus ride to wherever we're going. I think like Cincinnati or something like that, and we were passing the time, by just talking about women, like, most dudes do, and we're getting around to the question of like what we like most on a woman, and like someone was like their eyes, and all of us collectively were like, "Good." And then I think I was even just like, I like a fat old ass, and then it gets to him, and we were all really curious to see what he thought. And he looks at us and he's like, I like sausage gravy on a lady. I was like, that was a straight, like, wild card out of left field, Thinking about it, I would love sausage gravy on a lady.
I mean, I do love sausage gravy.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite things.
Yeah. Gotta make sure you really clean up afterwards, though. So I had sausage gravy for breakfast this morning. If only had a lady under there. But he wanted to be a preacher. There's someone else who wanted to be a preacher. My mom wanted me to be a preacher. As we can see, I've also taken a drastically different turn from that too. Yeah.
Well, I grew up in a family of preachers. Grandpa, uncles, cousins, and all. It's always my grandpa's a right hand man.
Mm-hmm.
And also my great uncle. I was a preacher all my life. I was about 16 when I realized how much of a joke religion is. Mm-hmm. Not God, the spirituality, but religion itself.
Yeah, the church, the building, yes. The building of church, yes, absolutely.
Not that there's not good people there, I just don't. It's just not for me.
Yeah, no, 100%. I realized that maybe. Also, yeah, right around the time I was like 16, maybe. And before that, though, when we would do like youth takeover, we would do like a thing like once every couple months. We would do like a youth takeover thing of the church, and like I actually preached 3 sermons. Yeah, so like I'm technically a preacher. A lot of my comedy haters say I'm a preachy comedian anyway, so. But yeah, no, and like I did good. But the thing is also, preaching is kind of like stand-up. I mean, there's always some made-up story at the beginning. That's not a dig at religion itself. It's like he'll like give some example about like I met this woman at a supermarket or whatever, and like said something about having a bad day. It's like, well, have you ever considered Jesus? That the intro of the story is made up. I'm not trying to lose too many viewers, but yeah, and the thing is, every now and then there's always like maybe 2 or 3 good punchlines in a sermon too. So yeah, it's just it's maybe that's where I got my start. I don't know, but like I said, my subject matter switched drastically about what I'm talking about on stage. But
yeah, funny though. So I am actually an ordained minister now.
Oh, yeah?
I don't know that you know that.
I didn't know that, actually.
Yeah. So I had a couple, a lesbian couple of mine that I talked to that I absolutely just adore both of them.
Yeah.
And,
You love their videos, yeah.
they are really good.
I need to start making you laugh when you have the needle on me.
Yeah.
I need to save my punchlines for after.
Yeah, they asked me if I would marry him, and I was honored to do it. So
Mhm.
I ended up getting ordained. And that was my first act as an ordained minister was to marry a lesbian couple. My grandpa would be
Hell yeah.
rolling her over in his grave.
Absolutely.
He would not be thrilled.
Yeah, I did the same thing, but unfortunately, my day job wouldn't let me get that weekend off to do it. And like I tried to pull all the strings and everything, and they're just like, yeah, no, we can't afford to have any other people off that day. So unfortunately, I let them know ahead of time. But no, I had also gotten ordained for a lesbian wedding as well.
Nice.
Yeah. And like that's the thing, like the first one, like I like it wouldn't have been a traditional one,
Yeah, and this wasn't traditional at all, of course.
Yeah. Like I have no intentions of getting married, but like if I do, I would want like a service that's a little less conventional.
I also think that marriage isn't joke anymore. I'm married.
We love you, Karen.
I'm happily married.
Yeah.
But
The ceremony itself, I agree. It's silly. It's too extravagant.
The money we spend
Too expensive.
on weddings, like it's just it's a racket. Is all it is.
Yeah. Take the money from the wedding and have an even more bitchin' honeymoon.
Exactly. Or just have a big ass reception party type deal.
Yeah.
With the ceremony and all the pretty shit.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
Yeah, my mom would have a stroke if I just like got married at the courthouse or whatever. But like, honestly, that's all you need.
Go down, save your money, get married.
Yeah.
Have a cool ass party.
Yeah.
Or an extravagant honeymoon.
Yeah. That's the thing. Yeah, I'd rather honeymoon in like Fiji or like Santorini, Greece, and not like Great Wolf Lodge in Cincinnati. No offense if your honeymoon was at Great Wolf Lodge in Cincinnati, but as long as she was getting wet either way, so that's all that matters.
Only by the water.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, and so what would you say? Like, so you started painting, you said, when you were like real young?
Real young. First drawing I wrote was when I was 5, and I can actually remember that. And I don't remember shit from my childhood.
Probably because you were drunk all the time.
Yeah. No, not drunk. But hell, I didn't even start drinking until I was probably 21, 22. I mean, I dabbled. I'd had a drink or two before then. But I only had 2 beers in high school.
Yeah.
Literally on the same night. I never had any again. It was like my junior
Yeah.
year.
I'm with you on that one too. People are kind of surprised when they see my drinking habits to know that no, I was a very good boy up until I was 21. I went to college in Bowling Green and I drank one time. And it was St. Patty's Day. And I was like, if it was the day to do it, you might as well have one. But my one was an Irish car bomb, so I went hard there. They are, which it's about the only time because you had to chug it. And normally I'm not a chugger, but with that, when it's like, well, it's either that or drink alcoholic cottage cheese. So I was like, okay, no, let's down the hatch here. Honestly, I think I haven't done one probably since COVID. Oh yeah.
Well, when I go to the bar next door.
Yeah.
When I'm at home, it's more IPAs and juices.
Okay. Yeah, I obviously, you drink so much Fireball and PBR, it got on the menu as a drink special. But I actually didn't realize you did some IPAs and stuff too.
Yeah, I actually love IPAs.
Yeah. Yeah. I was at the Shit Brothers recently, and I think my favorite beer on the whole wall was the Tank House that they had. Yeah.
I've never had a beer in there except
Oh, really?
I don't want to go up and get my own beer. Get me a bartender. Like that's
Yeah.
why I go drinking because I like to hang out with people and bring me beer.
Yeah.
I don't want to go get my own
Yeah.
beer. That's a cool idea, and I was super excited when they were opening. Like,
Yeah.
oh, we got a whole beer wall, like a vending machine.
Yeah, on paper. Yeah, it's perfect.
But then I'm just like, no, I'm good.
It really does help you understand, though, the bartender's plight, though, or of like what they get from like their upper management of like overpouring and stuff like that. Like you see just how easy it is and just how much money can be flushed down the toilet from overpouring.
Well, that's the thing too. Like those beers are expensive. I don't want to waste my money on beer going down the drain.
Exactly.
That's why I want a bartender. Like, you're a professional beer pourer.
Like I'm pretty sure John Taffer from Bar Rescue is the one that created that whole idea.
Probably.
But yeah, no, we're not.
He is. No, I mean he's a bastard in a good way.
Yeah, bastard.
Like you know, like Gordon Ramsay or Simon. Like no, like I like them being. They're like a professional wrestlers where like if you're good enough of a heel, people are gonna like you.
Too bad I can just never be a dick. I'm too nice to be that way.
Same. Well, I'm getting a little better about letting my dick out every now and then. Well, let me rephrase that. I'm way better at standing my ground and voicing my opinion if I need to, and also whipping my dick out. But
now, my opinion I'll give pretty free. Like, I don't mind that, but I can't be a dick.
Mhm.
I'll give you my opinion nicely.
Yeah.
There's subjects that need to be handled with care.
Right. It was on one of the last episodes, but I talked about how like, enough of my friends recently have been like hinting at me that I might have autism, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm not gonna put any real effort or thought into this until I go to see like a doctor about it. But
Don't listen.
well, yeah, but I won't. I don't. But there was one night I'm like laying down in bed and I am like playing back the video of my life basically, and I'm like, because when I'm 13, when I decided I want to be a comedian, one of the things is I was like, I'm gonna be like sarcastic and witty and like daily conversations and stuff. And one of the big things about autism is you have a hard time grasping sarcasm. So I'm like, if I've been sarcastic since I was 13, but I don't have a grasp of sarcasm, then there's a really good chance for the last 17 years I've just been a dick to people. And I'll admit, I lost a little bit of sleep over that. It's like 17 years.
I'm such an ass.
Yeah.
No, I'm pretty sarcastic myself, but maybe I don't have a good grasp either.
I'm better. No, I mean, like, I think it's less like so much like I understand. I think I do a good job of conveying it when I say it, but occasionally somebody will like. The one that really gets me is like for this podcast, if I like message a guest and I'm like, hey, I'll cook something. Is there something specific you want or whatever? And it was a previous guest that he only requested grape Kool-Aid. Here's the thing, he's a black comedian. But here's the thing, I'm like, hey, if that's what you want, I'll do it. So I made this giant jug of grape Kool-Aid with equal parts sugar, water, and purple, as tradition dictates. And I threw some vodka in there too, because But this thing, he gets to the table and I set down this glass of grape Kool-Aid and he's even like, what the fuck is this, man? And I was like, it's the grape Kool-Aid you asked for. And he's like, dude, I was joking. And I was like, oh.
Drink the Kool-Aid though.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm not going to waste good grape Kool-Aid.
With
But
vodka and special.
yeah, exactly. Plus it was...
So you make everybody else dinners for this shit? I did see, the couple of the podcasts.
Yeah.
Hanging out at the table.
Mm-hmm.
Eating and shit.
Because almost all of my guests are coming from Columbus, so that's kind of my way of saying thanks for making the drive. Also,
Sweet.
I just love cooking.
So for me, you're like, hey, I gotta hang out with you anyway, so let's just talk on camera.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
didn't make me anything, like nothing.
You want a churro Kit Kat? I'll bring you something next Saturday. But
yeah, I need to watch the one you did.
no, that's the one I was talking about. Me finding out I might be autistic too. So that's the full one. No, the Kelsey one was wild because like we're both two ADHD people, and I mean like I literally detailed every subject we went to in chronological order, and it is wild.
Yeah, super cool.
But yeah, it was a good one. The last two ones I had were bands. They were both pretty good bands. Tomcat Ramble and Dirt Road Daisy.
Tomcat Ramble, that's
Kevin Dredd's.
Sharon.
Yeah, Sharon's drummer. Yeah.
Yeah, Kelsey actually just got a hold of me about doing hometown DJ. T100.
Oh.
Thinking about doing that. It should be kind of fun.
Yeah. And you being a country guy, like you're well suited for it.
Yes, absolutely.
If they would ever let me guest DJ on the Big Lick, I could actually show them how to be funny. First off, but then yeah, second off, I'm like they'll play occasionally. They'll play like a throwback song, like not the ones that like other radio stations or like record companies are like telling radio stations they have to play. Like when they get to have like a DJ's choice and they'll do like some good throwback, like it'd just be a whole hour of that era, like the early 2000s, late 90s stuff.
Yeah, I'm one of those weird tattoo artists that I'm much into rock music. Some,
Yeah.
Not a lot. Classic rock, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm weird. People know I listen to country music and they're like, really? You listen to country and you look like that?
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that's a book by its cover.
Yeah. Yeah, the majority of the people don't suspect that I listen to like pretty much nothing but like either like straight up death metal or like gangster rap. That's the majority of whatever I'm listening to. Yeah. Most people just assume that I'm either country or some like weird, like kind of like soft that indie rock. Yeah. Which that, especially the indie rock, I'm like, no, that's not for me. It's got to come harder than that. Like the closest I get to indie rock is like Weezer, and that's not indie rock. But the country, though, I mean, I had a nice long gap in my life where I pretty much stopped listening to country religiously back in like 2007, 2008, maybe. Well, no, there was the one girl in high school that had me listen to country. So 2010. I've heard a couple of good acts since then. Like I do like Chris Stapleton. I like Zach Brown Band. Zach Bryan, Tyler Childers.
This new generation of country is going to be one for us, I think. Not pop country.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of, are you big on either Wheeler Walker Jr. or Waylon Napa Dogan?
I've heard some Wheeler Walker Jr. I've not listened to a lot of it. But what I've heard, I don't mind. I like it.
Yeah.
I just haven't listened to enough to be a fan. The other one I've never heard of.
Okay, the other one's like really new, but he wrote, not to take away from David Allan Coe or Steve Goodman, but Waylon Napa Dogan wrote the perfect country and western song. Actually, I don't know. It's not, because it doesn't say anything about mama or trains or trucks or prison or getting drunk, But
I always thought
it's so good.
Beer was the best country song I've ever heard.
Yeah. Or actually, shout out to Toby. Whiskey for My Horses was another good classic country song in like lyrics and feel. Also, when you got Willie on the track, Also, Weed with Willie too. Yeah, actually, when I was growing up, I think like Toby Keith was like one of my first like favorite artists. But that was again back when I only listened to country. Like we saw him to really date this story. Like we saw him at the Polaris Amphitheater when I was like 8, maybe, and I'm there singing every word. We get to Courtesy of Red, White, Blue, and like I remember like being scared when I said ass, and I looked over at my mom for her approval. She didn't care. She was in the zone too, you know.
She's like, oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, at 8, I could have. So that was when I was in karate. I started out when I was 6 or 7. See, I would have been I was a blue belt. I wouldn't have really been able to kick ass.
Are you going to do it again? Because if you can't guarantee you do it again, I would not even think about it.
It was
because
that was weird just doing karate growing up too, because it was like I had a rat tail and I had straight across Dutch girl bangs, and I had a mullet, and I went to the rich school. My mom would dress me in like Tommy Hilfiger, but then more like put little bib overalls and stuff. So like I was just asking to be bullied, basically my whole life. And then once I started doing karate, we did a demonstration for my middle school when I was in 7th grade or whatever, and I broke 4 flaming boards. From that moment on, the bullying stopped. Well, it came back in high school, but for the rest of middle school, I was pretty okay. Yeah. 30. Yeah, just the very beginning of it, basically.
When we were kids, that's all it was. It was just bullying at school in person, you know. Like at least bullies have at least that much respect for the person back then. Nowadays, it's just a bunch of pansies that go online.
Exactly.
Which is terrible. I would hate to grow up in this generation.
Mm-hmm.
Social media and all that. Not actually what we're saying is private.
Yeah. And this thing, I mean, when you do all your bullying and you're talking through a keyboard, you start to believe in this act of like, I can do and say stuff and it doesn't have consequences. And that's the thing. Back in the day, if you wanted to talk shit to someone, you had to do it to their face, and there was a good chance that if you talk shit, you would get hit. Our nation's policy. Exactly.
That generation.
Yeah. They were trying to get Hep C, that's why.
Did you order one of these tables?
Yeah, I didn't do one.
Did you order one of those?
Yeah, I've been running around this morning trying to find
Fucking loser. You can get one.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Plus my brother was
And I got mine for the 22nd.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, I was gonna say, if not, it could come like today. If you put the order in, it's. Yeah, I think that's probably a good idea. I don't think you should get these too, but I think that's a great idea. I like mine being small and
Yes.
around. Like I would never go to one of
Yeah.
these.
We're 13 months apart.
I'm just so used to my little.
So you were Danny DeVito.
My little station.
You'd think I would have been more funny growing up like that.
No.
Pencil. Who knows what is that?
Yeah.
It's funny. We used to have nothing but pencils in here.
Which is fine. Like, you probably was
I think I have one.
I'm gonna be a preacher.
Right.
I made it. I made it on both counts.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, my goals are set.
Yeah. Yeah, same. I mean, yeah, I'm an actor and comedian. Not full time, but I mean, I make money doing both now. Like, I even have on like my Tinders and like my Mumble, where it's like a professional comedian doesn't pay all the bills, but it pays some of them. It pays like my gas bill during the summer. It pays.
You wonder why nobody's blowing up your tent.
I know.
Yeah, I was thinking this chick.
I mean, well, okay, one day it's still a little too early to like.
So you're not
Yeah. No, not yet.
Right here.
I don't delete my dating apps until.
And then I think we're gonna put something too, like right here. Like
No, I'm kidding now, but like,
I think we're gonna.
I tried Tinder for like one day.
yeah, it's rough.
Not for me.
Yeah,
There was kind of goes back to the internet thing. I like person in your face.
Yeah.
Be right there.
yeah. That's the thing. Like, I'm a personality funny guy. I'm not someone that's getting people just based on my looks. So like, I need that in-person interaction. Yeah. Like actually, yeah. Like there's one of my jokes I'm doing. Well, I'm slowly retiring it, so I'm gonna say it here. But where it's like I'll get a poll of the crowd who's on Tinder, and it's like, and everyone's, and I'm like, how's it going? And everyone's like, it sucks and all that. It's like, all right, so yeah, here's a secret, and I'll tell you as somebody that doesn't rely on it anymore. Tinder's not working for you because you're not attractive. And it's like, yeah, you paid for a comedy show, but you're leaving with facts. So I was like, but I'll tell you how you make it work for you if you're one of us out there. Like, you have to go to a third world country. And I was like, because my Tinder would not stop blowing up when I was in Jamaica, the Dominican Republic, and Dayton, Ohio. I was like, so
Dayton qualifies as a third world country.
oh, so you haven't been to Dayton, Ohio?
I haven't been there for a long time.
Okay. Well, it's not gotten better. Let's just say that. But yeah, it's like, yeah. So yeah, if you want to change your fortunes, either save up money and go to a travel agent, or just go 2 hours west on I-70 to the promised land. But, and then I'll if I'm doing that joke outside of Ohio, I'll shift the Dayton, Ohio to whatever other shitty city is in the area. Like when I was in Philly, Baltimore, and DC last November. Like we started the run in DC, so like I was doing that joke in DC, and obviously I just switched Dayton to Baltimore, and then I'm in Baltimore, and I start into that joke just because like basic muscle memory when I'm on stage, and halfway through I immediately realized, oh wait, I'm in Baltimore. There's nothing worse than Baltimore. So I just had to record it, and I'm even like, or like right here in Baltimore, Maryland, because you guys know what's up. You see it.
So you totally have a Joe Biden moment.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's what happened.
But here's the thing. Fortunately,
where am I at?
Yeah, but fortunately, Baltimore, they knew exactly how terrible the city was. So they're like, they're like, yeah, we know.
Exactly.
Yeah. And actually, when I did it in Baltimore, then there was a guy in the crowd. He waited until I was done with mine, and then he shouted out, "Hey, it could be worse. Could be in Baltimore, Ohio." And I'm like, my man. And then we find out after the show that he's from Baltimore, Ohio, and then went to Baltimore, Maryland. I'm like, wow, that's out of the racist frying pan and into the racist fire. No, actually, I'm talking shit about Baltimore. It was one of the best crowds I've ever had. Yeah, and I actually really like the city. I like something a little hood, you know, like my women, you know. I like a somewhat clean hood, you know.
Just give me the country all the way around. They have all kinds of country. I'll take a redneck, bro. I mean, I got my wife.
Yeah.
She's not a redneck.
Mm-hmm. No, she's not.
So what am I saying? I'm not taking her. I'm just taking my wife.
That's right. That's right. I mean, if you did say you were going to take someone else, I could just edit that out. But I'm not that good at editing, and it's a little more noticeable when people watch the video. Like if you're only listening to this on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and the editing is seamless, but on the video there's a very big seam usually. It depends. Like as the episode goes, I always had to keep a mental track of like, oh, I might actually need to edit this out so I don't get canceled or affect some like weird legal thing. So I mean, I've had a couple videos where I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have to actively like sit down and listen to this thing in its entirety and edit every little clip. A couple of them, I just remember, oh yeah, I'm perfectly fine putting this up as is. And I'll put in like my blurb at the beginning about like upcoming tour dates, other like personal life announcements. But then, yeah, so it's a case by case basis. I mean, there was the one. Well, it was a two-parter because we ended up going for like 2.5 hours on it. So I split it. It was with two burlesque dancers from Columbus, one of which also does some stand-up as well. And she's you'll know if you listen, but she herself is a trans artist. And I was a little worried that she might even say something that's like, all right, even as like, even if it's something you're allowed to say, I still can't have this on the podcast. So
As a protected class.
yeah, exactly. So I'm like, but then so they started dropping the C word a lot, and I'm like, I believe it or not, I actually have a very high female viewership audience. So I was like, even if it is coming from two women, like that's still, if you hear it enough, some people are gonna get turned off by it. So they really do. Yeah. So same as my mom. No. So I'm going through and like I'm like, all right, they've said this word probably 40 times. I might have to literally go in and clip out every single one. At one point, I kind of gave up and I was like, all right, you know what? Screw it. Free speech. Let's do it. It's art. And most of the times they said it was funny. So I left them in. There's only one thing that she wanted me to edit out. And it was a part where we revealed her age because she didn't want any of her sugar daddies on her OnlyFans to find out, oh no, she's not as young as she is claiming to be. She doesn't need our help. And as soon as she told me that, my first thought was, I was like, you know what? J.K. Rowling, Dave Chappelle, and any other trans folks can suck her dick because that is spoken like a real woman right there. Dropping the C word, but it's like, don't let people know how old I am. You know, yeah, there was that one. There was a really deep story in an episode I had to clip out. And then I think it was one time I accidentally started bad mouthing Spotify too much because they don't really pay their artists that well, which by now that's kind of a known fact. But I really broke it down for a guy, and then as soon as I did, I was like, I am airing this on Spotify. I should probably clip out half of this. Yeah, they're not feeding me. No.
But maybe one of these.
Yeah. If I get enough viewers in a month, then they'll start paying me. Well, even then, it's not so much they pay me; that's when they unlock sponsors that I can do ad reads for. Now those are what pay, and those pay very well. Yeah. Oh, dude. You know Bert Kreischer and Tom Segura. So their podcast, Two Bears One Cave. There was an episode where Bert kind of like inadvertently let slip just how much money, and this is how much money they were making at one time. They have even at one point he basically hinted that they make $7,000 an episode. Yeah, and here's the thing, and that was years ago. They probably make even more now. Yeah, that's why I'm doing this.
Oh, that was another thing I wanted to tell you. If you ever want to use the gallery,
I was gonna ask about doing like a specifically like a live episode of like actually like charging people like $5 to come in and like watch it and all that. Yeah, great minds think alike. Go ahead. Yeah. Every time I like have the conversation with my parents of like why I'm still actively doing this whole stand-up comedy dream, Well, I give them the dollars and cents of it, of where it can go, and every time they're just like, well, I hope you do. I hope you can get there. Because again, like there was Bert saying, because it was like Discover Channel where he did like or Travel Channel, one of those two. They wanted to turn it kind of into a show for their network, and they quoted $7,000. And when he ran the idea by Tom was the one that said, "Dude, we make that in like 2 or 3 ad reads on an episode." So technically, it was Tom Segura is the one that actually said they make more than 7,000. But yeah, and Tom Segura specifically, he's the one that like I tell my parents like, hey, if I can get to this level, this is how much money I can make, because he has that podcast with Bert Kreischer. He has another one with his wife, who's also a comedian, called Your Mom's House. That one has probably around the same pool. Like they both have very wide audiences. So in theory, the guy's making, if he's taking 2,000 personally for an episode each, so he's making $4,000 just from doing 2 podcasts of 2 hours out of his week, basically. Then he has his actual stand-up, where he's going and selling out theaters every week, and we're talking like 1,000-seat theaters that he's doing 2 shows for, sold out. So I mean, he's making about $10,000 a show. Yeah, he's doing very, very all right. Yeah.
Oh, one of these days, that's
It's maybe in 20 years.
Yeah, that's what I keep telling myself. One of these days.
Yeah.
Until then, we'll just keep struggling on through.
Right.
Because whether the money's there or not, it's still money going.
Oh yeah,
Still
absolutely.
love to do comedy, and I still love to do art.
Absolutely.
It pays the bills.
Yeah. Like I said, gas, water, internet, maybe, but one of these days they'll pay the car mortgage too, hopefully. But well, hey, actually, we're about to approach the first of my many I need to get up so I can feel my ass again breaks. And we'll go. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and wrap up the episode as well. Then we can turn up your music again. But anyway, so yeah, March 23rd, we have a show here at the Meraki Gallery right next door, 35 West Church Street, Newark, Ohio, 43055. I'll post my Venmo, Cash App. I'll get an Eventbrite link up for it as well, since we're changing dates. You can get your tickets either of those 3 ways. And then I'll be posting about it within the next day or so. So you have all the info. And then, yeah, that's it for that. And then if you want a tattoo and you're in the area, I recommend no place higher than Monkey Head Tattoo. With Brian Pagas, there's also a couple of other very talented artists here as well, but none more talented than Brian Pagas.
I disagree, but thank you.
And then any social medias you want people to follow you on?
Just Meraki Art Gallery on Facebook for right now. I am on TikTok, Instagram, all that good stuff. But yeah.
On TikTok for now, anyway.
Yeah, TikTok for now. But well, I doubt it'll go through the summer.
Yeah.
Congress,
Yeah.
okay, so then still gotta get this stuff. I doubt it'll.
There's still a lot of redundant hoops that's got to go through. So government.
But yeah, that's it. Meraki Art Gallery on Facebook.
Cool. And if you haven't already yet, subscribe to the channel. Follow on social media for both just myself, Destin Richardson, and then for the Destin Nation Podcast. And yeah. So anyway, that's it for me. No, for this. I still have another 2 hours basically on this. So we're going to take a break here. So thanks again for tuning in, and have a good day.
Have a good one.